Hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today it's Sunday, and we finish it with Wednesday. So we have a new movie, finally. And when I say new, kind of a pun, because it's not new. It's a pretty old one. It's 1958, right? The Blob. It's interesting because actually I did not, probably I knew, but I forgot the meaning of Blob. Because blob in IT it's binary large object. So we use it all the time, you know, when you have a big file of some kind of compressed information or something, it's binary large file object.
Yeah, the first time I saw blob in IT, I went, blob? What is a blob? You know, and then I learned that because I thought this blob.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of opposite direction.
Yeah.
Right. And in our pre-warming show, when we were, you know, checking our microphones and talking about weather, Vasans asked interesting question. So in this movie, there are many characters, right? Many of them. And most of them supposed to be children, right? Young boys and girls. Sergey, what are the age of them? What do you think? How old are they?
In my opinion, the main character who found the substance was 35 years old. In my opinion, not a child.
Yeah, but I mean by script, you know, they are young people, right? They are mad about racing on the cars and, you know, flirting with girls. So what do you think on script? How old are they? 14, 16, 18?
I think it's 16, 18.
Yeah.
Gerard, do you agree?
Yes, because they cannot, in a moment they are not allowed to drink alcohol. In a moment the police officer said that they are not allowed. So it's 21 is the age in America when you are allowed to drink alcohol. And Steve McQueen here is 28. The real age is 28, but it represents maybe 18.
Yeah, but actors' age is different, right? They
10 years more.
10 years more. Yeah. And as I understand it, the reason why Vasans asked it was there is a law against, you know, children in the movies or something. And I remember that, you know, it was an article written somewhere, and it was an article that Hollywood likes twins. Do you know why? Twins? Because they can break the law. They can kind of film one twin for 4 hours, then another twin for 4 hours, and it will be the same character, you know, and there is no child kind of abusing, or what's the word for this, working overtime.
Yeah.
And it was said in the article that's why so many young actors were twins in the movies, especially babies and small childs.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. Okay, back to our movie. Layla said that it's the best movie of the year, right?
No. I didn't say anything, but let me confess something. I like the film, but I watch another version, 1988.
Okay.
The
Look, I
remakes
didn't
usually...
understand Teacher Lee. Hello, first of all. I didn't understand Vasan's question. I said, why? Anyway, I hope I will catch you guys.
Okay, I think that if idea is the same, you know, we can.
I think so.
Yeah, we can. Okay, let's describe the plot a little bit, right? So, Sergey, could you please start with the story? Let's retell the story.
The story started in a romantic moment when the main character invited his girls for something, for a romantic meeting, and please see the sky, see the star, and we have a good moment. But suddenly they watch the star who through near with this cope, and they wanted to see what is it. But they before it they meet some old men who wanted to see this substance too. And old man started to put brick in this substance, and this substance started to.
Yeah, but why do it was not a substance in the beginning, right? It was just a ball, right? A meteorite, right? So just a ball. It's but it looked like an egg, right? So with a shell. So you can crack this shell, right? And after that, you can see something inside. That was more like a substance, as you say, something liquid, something moving, right? Something disgusting, I would say. I would never touch such a thing with my hand.
Yeah, it looks like epoxide resin.
Yeah. Vasant, do you have a question?
Yeah, teacher Lee, are they different? A shooting star and a meteorite, are they different?
In the sky, it's called a shooting star. When it hits a shooting star, it's the same as a meteor. When a meteoroid in space, it's a meteoroid. When it hits our atmosphere and burns up and becomes visible, we call it a meteor or a shooting star. If it survives and lands on the ground, what lands on the ground we call a meteorite. So it's got 3 different names in 3 different stages: space, atmosphere, and ground. So on the ground, it's a meteorite. In the sky, when we see it, it's a shooting star or a meteor.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we have a meteorite then, right? So because it's laying on the yours, and I would say that this, how we call this hole when that meteorite made in the surface?
Crater.
Crater, right? So I would say that this crater was kind of unproportional. It was too small, in my opinion. So it was like, like someone hit with a arm. So not something I expect. Because do you remember recently we have a Chelyabinsk meteorite, right? And it was small, but the whole town lost its windows, and the hole was huge. The crater was huge in some swamps. So this one was small.
Ivan, I understand in Russia you have a big one from the beginning of the 20th century. Do you know that?
In the Siberia, right? So
Siberia, yes.
Tungus place, I remember.
Tunguski meteorite.
It was huge one. It's still visible. The crater still visible from the space, as far as I remember. Okay. So the old man, he touched this alien. Let's call it alien also. How we call it? Blob. It's a blob, right? Sergey?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Vasant, could you please tell us what happened after?
After he touched that blob, it grabbed his hand, it stick with his hand, and he couldn't get that off from his hand. He was screaming and he was running around, and eventually bumped into the car, the lead road person's car. I forgot his name, and they found him in a great agony. So they wanted to help him. So they took him, they let him get into that car and drove to the doctor's house.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And what doctor saw at the first moment? What do you think?
He couldn't understand what that thing was. He thought something, some substance is sticking in his hand, but he didn't know that it's a living organism that is eating the old man's flesh inside.
Yeah, I like 2 things about doctors. Not normal you, but I like 2 things about the doctor in this movie. First of all, his gesture when he was thinking what it could be, and then he took some random book from the from the bookshelf, you know, and start to scroll through, like, you know, I found something. I will find something. This one. Another one I like that immediately after he called his nurse, he said, you know, I need your help. We need to amputate the hand just in case, you know. Yeah, he was a decisive guy.
Decisive. Yeah. I don't know what the hand looks like under there, but we better cut off the hand just to be sure. Yeah. You might better just wipe it off. Who knows, you know?
Yeah. Not something I expect, you know, when I go to the doctor and he says, you know, I don't know what is this. Let's, you know, remove your hand.
Yeah. If you had an x-ray, you know, did an x-ray and went, you know, oh, the bone's gone. It's eaten the hand away. Then you could cut it off. But without seeing inside the blob, cutting off the arm is kind of extreme, isn't it?
Leila, was it similar in your version?
Up to now, yes, but the only thing is different. Here, the version I watch, till the doctor comes, that substance has destroyed the old guy. No legs, no organs anymore.
Wow.
Okay,
Fast.
please.
The blob has become bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the same here. So he kind of eat, right, the tissue.
Flesh,
Yeah.
right?
And faster and faster.
Sergey, please.
Yeah, yeah. The moment with doctors was strange for me because, in my opinion, doctor had to try to save the old man. He had to try to cut the blob, but to invite some other doctors, to invite policemen. But in my opinion, the doctor was stupid and he had a criminal slowness, and that's why he lost the old man.
Well, he didn't know what to do. What I think was incorrect. The doctor did not call the police or something, right? Because do you remember the problem with police and these young guys? Police did not trust them, right? But if doctor called, the problem would disappear, right?
But you have men who was dying right now, and that's you had to save him. Don't call, don't go, okay, we will think about it in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, but what's wrong with him?
Why would a doctor call the police, Ivan, for a medical condition? Police, I'm a doctor. I've got a man here. Something's going wrong with him. I don't know what to do. You wouldn't call the police. It's not murder.
Well, I got your point. It's a kind of a strong point, but at the same time, doctor told these young guys, right, go there and find something. I have to understand what it is, right? So he made.
So Ivan, the old guy, didn't die, right?
Not yet.
Okay. And actually, I want to ask you something. In that version I watched, they say a jelly entity. Can I use it?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like jelly, right? Or jam that you put on toast. You know, it's a blob. It's shapeless. You just put a blob on a spoon and so yeah, it's jellyfish-like. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Why entity? Entity means existence, right?
Entity means any body, any object. We usually use entity for a thing.
Okay.
So it's a jelly-like thing. Yeah.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point about the police wasn't about medical condition. My point about police was that doctor kind of started investigation, right? He said, you go there and find something. But isn't it better if it's what would be a police job or someone else's job, not, you know, not just young guys?
if it were like a radioactive thing where clearly it was causing radiation poisoning or injury, I could see calling the police to cordon off the area.
Mhm.
But just a substance on someone's hand, normally what do you expect? Oh, wipe it off, or, put some stuff on it and kill it. You don't normally think this is a public danger or menace, Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Gerard, help us. What happened after? So doctor sends them, I mean, young guys, right? This gang to the
see
place, to
Yes.
the crater.
Okay. I think the youngs found some remains of the egg.
Mhm.
The gang of young teenagers. And what more? Well, okay, they start the race with Steve, the protagonist. They started the race backwards, and the police caught them doing that. Do you remember? Is that? Oh,
I can hear you, Gerard.
okay. Ivan,
Okay,
can you-
my headset turned off. It's weird. Sorry.
Hmm.
But Ivan, you are showing as muted.
Okay, but
Wow, sorry.
There we go.
I thought I lost you.
Okay, so I remember that before they went to the crater place, they had a kind of, what's the word for this? I don't know, fight with another gang of guys and police.
Yeah, but it was friendly. They wanted to do a contest, driving.
Mhm.
And they said, the guy from the other gang said something that driving backwards. And they did the contest, driving backwards.
Mhm.
And I think
Oh,
Steve won. And the police officer Dave caught him.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be teenagers, because I think in America, 16-year-old kids are allowed to have a driving license.
Yeah. And they still challenge each other today. Usually it's racing down the road real fast, 3, 2, 1, go. And whoever can get to the end first. So we call it drag racing. Kids still do it today.
Yeah, and
But-
why I think it's important, I think because, these young guys, they had a reputation. They had a bad reputation in eyes of police. That's how I understand this. This is why police did not believe them from the first moment, right? So because they knew that these guys with problems, they always make racing, they beat around the bushes through the night, and probably they make some pranks. So that's why police didn't believe them. So my impression.
Teenagers are always immature and playing pranks on people,
Yeah. Yeah, Sergey, please.
Imagine that you policeman and you have an incoming call. Oh, we have a monster. What? Are you stupid or you drunk? What's a monster? The monster eat one old man and doctor. But please stop to joke about us. But it's obvious why everybody didn't trust him.
Yes, sorry if I talk too much today, but what I like it in this movie, it's kind of a different pace of life. We can see this. We can we can see it by own eyes. Look at police department nowadays. What is happening on? Everything is calling it all the time, right? All the TVs are shouting. Many people assaulting policemen just inside the department. There are some kind of, so it's a kind of a mess, right? And let's see how it was 50 years ago, right? People saying, eating donuts and playing chess and, and using radio for fun. And when someone calls about the monster, they say, don't pull my legs. So it's...
Yeah. Imagine a time when there's no cell phone, no computer, reel-to-reel tapes, one phone in a house that you have to pick up and dial. I mean, this is, no aliens, no liberals. This is a very old, this is even before communism. Okay. Before communism, almost, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable, right? Nowadays, when I go to not to police, to post office, it looks more dangerous than the police movie.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Okay, so Gerard mentioned that they found this kind of eggshell, right? They immediately touched it, right, without any
Precaution.
doubts, right? They played with them and returned back, right? Okay, Vova, do you remember this moment? So these guys, they returned back from the crater to doctor office. What they found here. First of all, who they? So it was only two of them, right? At this moment.
Yes.
Who?
Steve and Jane.
Steve and Jane. Okay.
Steve saw that this blob was on this doctor's head,
Right.
but the girl didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. You'll have not seen it. And what happened?
I don't know.
They
Ran away.
ran away to the police department.
Yes.
Okay. But before run away, when we say run away, it was not a rush, right? They had to speak like for 15 minutes first. Yeah, it was in general, I had this impression, it was a very slow movie because it's made of these days, right? So they see a
Mine is
monster.
not slow, Ivan.
But it was so fun, they saw a monster in the window, right? And then what would I do? I would run immediately, without any words. But they
Sure.
started a dialogue, right? They started a dialogue. You are so brave, man.
Or maybe you thought it was a prank. What is this thing? Is this some kind of a joke? You wouldn't believe it initially, It's funny though.
Okay, so they went to the police, right? And police pressed some charges on them? Not yet, right? I don't remember. Vasant, do you remember what happened?
Yep, they called their parents. They came there. And, they could not deny the accusation or the statement of the kids because they were so good in nature, so they don't lie. So his dad was not sure that he was telling any lies or playing games. He was so suspicious, but still he wanted to get him back to the home because it was an embarrassing moment. He was caught with a girl in the night. So the dad, both dads brought their children to their home.
Yeah, I remember that Steve Flathers was kind of a school decan or something like this, kind of someone from education, right? I remember.
Principal, I think.
Principal, yeah.
Principal, yes.
And lady, girl, who were your parents?
I don't know.
Yeah, but something similar, right? So some kind of famous people in this village or small town. So that's why they were caring about their reputation. So, and they were not happy that they children in the police at the night. So they were kind of embarrassed and angry. So you go home, you stay here, you do nothing. That was the solution. Sergey, did they stay home?
What?
When their parents put them to the home, right? in their rooms, did they stay home or did they escape?
Yes, they wanted to continue the investigation what this happened, and they went from home, and the lady and the guy, and but for me it's strange. And when lady went from home, she met her brother, and her brother asked her, what do you think, Knight? I have a deal, and we have to go with my friend. But in my opinion, I don't go in this case.
You wouldn't go.
And,
Why?
yeah,
Why?
because it's stupid, and I started to call to the police, and I would like to share this idea and my photos, but I don't know.
But you just have been in the police. They don't trust you, you know. You have no one to call anymore.
Yeah.
So the whole world, you know, the whole peace on the world is in your hands. Only you can save the world.
Okay.
It's up to me.
Okay, so they escaped from their houses, right? They went to some kind of what it was actually, cinema. What it was, kind of a cinema, I guess.
Theater.
Movie theater, yeah, cinema movie theater, yeah.
Yeah, movie theater, and they kind of, what's the word for this? Got a backup, right? Not a backup, like reinforcement with their friends. And all together they went to the doctor house to investigate once more. Is it correct? Some other place, I don't remember. So the Blob already left doctor place, if I'm right. Gert, is it right?
What did
So
you
the
say?
Blob, it was not in the doctor place anymore, right?
No,
Kind
no,
of
no.
attacked another building.
I started in the cinema operator, you know, next to the projector. That was its first victim, the cinema, and then all the people when escaped flew from the cinema theater.
Yeah. So now it was clear that the Blob not a prank, right? It was clear for everyone. And I remember they said like 40 people injured or something. Police said,
Yes.
right?
I think already ate before a mechanic a shop in a drink liquors shop. 2 or 3 people more before it went to the cinema theater.
And someone made a big noise during the night, right? Before that, it was a kind of how we call it, alarm sound, something like this. So they make a lot of sounds for the firemen, for the police, for everyone. So they
Air attack, fire.
air attack, fire, like sirens. I don't know what it was.
The Russians are attacking. Because at this time it was the fear, you know, it was a normal fear.
Yeah, the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
With atomic bombs. Go to the refuge.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we missed a few scenes, I guess, but it's not that important. So Vova, the Blob is in the cinema, right? Attacking people, right? People are evacuating. What happens?
Blob walk through holes in the wall
In the cinema?
in the cinema.
Yeah, we finished with that. So people are evacuating from the cinema. They are run away, right? Some of them went to this small, what's the name for this, wagon cafe, right? What Blob did at that moment.
Blob was very big, so he light on this wagon.
He kind of isolates this wagon by his own body, right?
But it was not smart, I think,
Why?
because there are so many people running on the street and only few in the wagon.
Right, the strategy was wrong.
But it is annoying.
Okay, so he kind of closed all the windows, all the doors, all the exits in this wagon, right? And people outside, what they wanted to help. How? What was the first attempt?
By by electricity.
Electricity. They, what was their plan?
To shoot wire.
Wire? Cable line? Right?
Yes.
To attack Blob with electricity. How it went?
It didn't work.
Did not work. Yes, Blob has no problem with electricity at all. Maybe he likes electricity. Maybe it's like a bath for him, right?
Yeah.
Give me more. Okay, Gerard, what was the next step?
Okay, so that happens when the blob was over the dinner.
Mhm.
Well, I think they used fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
But the CO2 fire extinguisher work because they bring cold. We found out that the cold was the only thing that could beat the blob. And they asked the firefighters to go to seek for more fire extinguishers and things. In the school they had 20, and they were able to cold the blob with the CO2 extinguishers, fire extinguishers.
Yeah, and I remember there were a few kind of, I don't know, jokes inside this when a school principal or school decan, he had to broke the window, and all the children were so happy about this because this guy misbehaved. Yeah, pretty naive, but it's funny. Okay, so at the end, who won? People, right? This fire extinguisher worked, and they froze blob to the small kind of amount, right?
A balloon, do you remember?
Yeah.
To the pole north, North Pole. Cold place, I think.
Yeah, and now blob is on the North Pole waiting for global warming, right?
Yeah.
The blob will return.
That's all, actually. That's all. We missed a few scenes, but the reason why we missed it because there are all the dialogues. We have to admit they are very slow paced. So people is not rushing anywhere, you know. So they are kind of talking a lot, talking slowly, talking about nothing, right? Kind of. Do you think your father will like what you do? Something like this. And another way, Sergey, I don't know, do you mention that this guy, the main kind of character, Steve, he had a pretty strange mimics, right? He never looked into the people face. He always looked like around. Have you noticed?
Yes, I agree. And a lot of main characters had a strange mimic and strange, the strange old, but I don't know, возраст.
Age.
The strange age for these characters, and for me the main expression about this movie, as literally told the old pretty old America, and with when the small city and the policemen know young men, they know their parents, and they had to control him. Oh, Steve, you have the problem yesterday. Yeah. But it's a pretty interesting for me because we lost this impression. We lost these relationships
Yeah.
between each other. We have the similar relationships in my small town.
Yeah.
Not only this, remember when doctor went somewhere, right? And immediately everyone knows and at what hotel doctor prefer to stay for last 20 years.
Remember the funny moment when the lady works to doctor. Oh, I have to clean it. Stop! We have some details. Not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Doctor will return. I will have the problem. Stop.
The lady was very assertive, right? So police say, stop it. You can destroy any evidence. And she was so strict to policemen. She said, "You do your work, I will do my work. I was as clean as in doctor's house."
Yeah, we weren't afraid of the police back then. They were just, they were just workers doing their job, and we're workers doing our job.
Yeah. Different flavor of all the dialogues, I would
Yeah.
say. Leila, was it the same in your version? Or
Oh, it is really different.
Yeah,
But-
remakes are usually all action.
Yeah, actually, I liked the one I watched because it was moving, and you can't guess what's gonna happen next. And the actors and actresses are not old, very young.
I see. But what about the story? The story was similar?
Almost similar, but even in this version, any of the students died.
Mhm.
For example, in the one I watched, one student died at the beginning of the film. So
Wow.
there are only two people, one girl, one boy left. And the names are different. Brian, Paul, Mag, these kind of names.
Okay. So what is the moral of the story? What should we learn from this?
You're asking me?
Anyone? Everyone.
Moral.
If
Instead
you
of
see a
crying,
meteorite, be careful. Don't touch.
And I can say, take the risk. You don't have to see the whole staircase.
we have a saying, look, but don't touch.
Sicily. Every time cautious.
So instead of crying wolf, cry blob. Blob. It's that no one believes teenagers, because teenagers are usually, viewed as immature and playing pranks all the time and not taking life seriously. So one of the messages is nobody believes teenagers, which is probably still true today.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that we forgot about this, but probably when you're a teenager, you have a lack of credit, right? Given to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So should we discuss something about the movie more, or we should go to the titles and slides?
Slides.
So, but what do you think? Why was this movie popular actually back then? Was it a popular one, famous one?
It's famous to older Americans like me because we watched it when we were kids.
Mhm.
And I still remember that movie today from a long time ago, So when I saw it on YouTube or somewhere or on IMDb, I went, "Oh, the Blob. Oh yeah, I remember that movie, That was a fun movie, So older people know it. Young people may not know what the Blob is,
Yeah,
interesting.
Okay. Okay, let's do some slides, Leila, could you please describe this one?
Okay, I can just imagine or guess
Yes,
some
yes.
things. Could be the doctor or the old guy.
Old
You
guy.
have me, Ivan?
Old guy, and
Oh.
he's touching Blob just now.
Okay. So he found this jelly substance, I can say. You can understand how shocked he was by looking at his face. And he didn't believe what he saw. And can you see the substance is melting a bit downward, right? And that's all. It is the night. I didn't like his hair at all. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
what does it mean, Bam?
Do
A
you know
homeless guy.
Homeless, yeah. But in this movie, I think he looks better than the one I watched. I thought he was a beggar in the movie I watched.
Same idea. Yeah, it's the same idea.
Okay, thanks.
An old guy that lives alone or doesn't have a home and he just lives on the street, or lives out in the hills, you know.
Mhm.
Okay.
One question for teacher Lee. They called him old timer. Is that disrespectful or affectionate?
It's kind of affectionate for an old person, but it does have a connotation of old-fashioned,
Yes.
out of
Mhm.
date, behind the times. But back then, old timer was kind of an affectionate term. Today, if you call somebody old timer, probably going to be offensive to most people.
Most people, especially old people, feel really hurt.
But back then, it was an affectionate term. Yeah.
Sergey, please.
Yeah, in this picture we can see the substance like a slime. And 2 or 3 years ago in Russia and in my city, children mixed some chemical ingredients and they got the slime. And I hated this period because they put the slime everywhere. I told them, stop making the slime. Father, we have a slime. And the berries, the slime. Yeah.
There's a children's toy you can buy called slime. And if you
Hmm.
get a ball of it and it's kind of sticky and it's kind of
Yeah.
sticky a little bit, you can throw it against the wall and it'll go and it'll
Very
climb
similar.
down the wall.
Usually they still have got this because according to psychologists, it is a therapy.
Is that right? Okay. But yeah, there was a toy that when I saw the slime, I thought about the Blob. If you've
Yes,
ever seen the Ghostbuster cartoon,
I love it.
remember the green blob Slimer? Was that his name?
I
He
don't
He was
remember.
a green blob, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That green ghost was like a green blob, and they called him Slimer because he was
Yes, yes.
slimy.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Vasans, could you please explain this one?
Yeah, I was curious about the pin message he is having. He's writing something on a piece of paper, and with a pin, he just pinned against that wall. Probably it's just in and out timing, something kind of a notice
Mhm.
to the patient,
Was that who is he in the film?
or at least the doctor.
Okay, thank you.
He was about to leaving the hospital after his duty, and he was posting this short notice on the entrance.
Notice the pant legs. In the old days, we used to have a crease down the front of the pant legs. You had to iron it to make a crease on the pant legs. That was considered dressing up, wearing creased pants.
Wow.
That sharp edge running down the pant leg.
Yeah.
Did you ever have creased pants in Russia, Ivan?
Yeah, we still have them. So it's a
Still?
part of formal suit. So
Yeah.
if you are in a formal suit, you must have this crease. Otherwise, you like a farmer or something.
Yeah, your pants aren't ironed, You can't
My
leave
mom
the
was-
house without creases.
My mom used to iron these, I remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Sergey, do you still have this, right? I mean, you're not wearing jeans to your job, right? You're wearing the proper pants with crease.
No, I have jeans and I wear jeans.
Okay, so I knew that you are
I'm
lost
new
clothes.
school.
Okay. Okay, the next one is this one. Gerard, help us, please.
Okay. Here's the moment when the gang of guys and Steve with his girlfriend, are about to do the race. So the guy, this with the blue shirt, it's daring Steve to do the race, and Steve told him to do the race backwards.
Yeah, what a beautiful time, right? No computers, no Netflix, no TV at home. So you just go there, and race with your friends.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
this was before TV, probably. Yeah.
I think it's better,
Who knows?
isn't it?
Well, it
Well, I mean-
depends. If you racing on the cars and you don't, kill people often, probably it's okay. But if you if you drinking all the time, or you do some, I don't know, street crimes, probably it's not the best one.
But the difference back then was without technology, all you had to do in your free time was interact with people. Get
Yes.
together with your friends, go to a movie together, go hang out together, go drive around together. It was very social because you had nothing to do but be with other people. That was the only thing you had to do. Yeah.
Sergey, please.
Pay attention that the car doesn't the safety belt. And for me, the old time car had the white ring on the tires.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment. I don't know why, but for what?
But teacher, you answered this many times. White wall tires, right?
White wall tires, just decorative. Black people in particular, even today, love white wall tires. You don't see them much anymore, but you might see black people have them on their cars. Yeah.
Have you seen, any, bus in India, a photo bus in India? So it always have a carpet inside, right? What's the reason for this? No reason, just decoration, right? All the buses must have a carpet. So it's the same, all the tires must be colored white.
Just a different look. Everyone's got black tire, black tire, black tire. Ooh, a white wall tire. That's different. Yeah, just to be different.
Yeah, what I found interesting about this dialogue, probably it's not natural dialogue, probably it's for movie, probably people don't spoke this way. I don't know. I wasn't living at that time, but they spoke pretty kind of in educated manner, right? They don't speak like people speak now on the streets. What we see in the movies, right? In the modern movies.
Back then, our education system worked.
Yes.
Today, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So they at this moment, I remember they was teasing each other. So it was about drag Steve into the race, by teasing him. So it's as how I understand this dialogue. But it was not kind of offensive. It was not provocative or something. It was just, pretty friendly dialogue, which is untypical for today, I would say.
Yeah.
This version, okay. The one I watched, there are a lot of, slang and people are offending each other, making the others angry.
Yeah.
Okay, so time changed.
Yeah.
Time change, yes.
Profanity.
Yeah. The old days were kinder and gentler, we say. Kinder and gentler.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get there one day. Okay. Well, tell us about this picture.
This is a policeman, and he stopped Steve, his car, and he's going to
Punish them?
yes.
Not actually punish, he was going to lecture them, right? Lecture them and get them away. So, teacher, when police stop your car, it's kind of pulling down, right? Pull down the car.
They pull you over. Well, they pull you over to the side of the road.
Pull you over. Right?
Pull you over. Yeah.
Okay. So what was they talking about?
They were talking about that Steve said, policeman, that this was the last time.
Last warning, right? So you are parked in the wrong place, but it's a last warning for you. I'm not going to fine you, not going to tell your father, but it's the last time I do this for you. Why? Why it was last time?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Sergey, could you tell us about this picture?
There is a doctor room, and where they tested some, took some analysis, they check people, and we can see two windows with jalousies and old stylish mistress.
We just
Sorry.
call them nurses.
No, nurses with strange
Nurse hat. Yeah, nurse hat.
nurse, yeah.
Can you see the bottle in her hand?
Yeah, it's acid. And
Acid,
doctor asked the nurses, please put the acid on this substance. But acid didn't work.
Yeah, correct. Nice. Let's go.
Yeah, the blob says, ooh, ooh, that tickles. Ooh, ooh, do it some more.
Yo. You kill me.
Yes, this one is interesting. So, Leila, could you please describe this one? We will help you with.
Of course. This is the policeman. I think he is at the police station and he's talking on the radio using the microphone. Maybe he's waiting for some news about the creature, and he has got badges, and he has got a gray shirt, and I don't know what to say.
It's fine, but you know this radio station, as far as I understood, it's not for his job or something, because they had phone for this, but he used this radio station as an enthusiast, as far as I understood. So he had some kind of, what's the word for this, label or badge. He had his own kind of acronym, I don't know, own name for radio, and he played chess with someone by radio station. So it's how he killed his time.
So
back
this is
then, we
like
called
that-
it ham radio.
Ham
This
radio.
is like that in the
Civilians could
film,
use it. Yeah.
Ivan.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Layla.
No, I'm sorry, teacher Lee. I just wonder if it is like that in the film, the way Ivan told me.
Yeah, back in the old days, there were some radio frequencies called ham radio that ordinary people like you and me could actually go on the radio and we could talk to other people on the radio.
We are not ordinary, teacher Lee.
But I mean,
Okay, but-
anybody could do it. If you bought a
Yeah.
ham radio, you could talk to somebody, five states away on ham radio, and you could
Okay.
just talk
Mhm.
like, so it was basically anybody's radio frequency you could talk to, like
Right.
CB radio today.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still have this, but as far as I remember, maybe I'm wrong, you have to apply for registration or something, so you have to do some paperwork. So this,
Yeah, you got to
Really?
get a license to show that you know how to be polite and do things correctly and you don't abuse the radio station,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah.
Really? I didn't know that, Ivan.
Internet is better, Leila. It's only for enthusiasts.
No, I won't do it anyway.
Sergey, please.
Yes, and we can see the police badge on this policeman and the old style police badge. Now, as I know, they put the action camera inside the police badge, and thankful that we can see a lot of killers, some criminals. I like this video. Stop!
Yeah, no body cams back then. Yeah.
Yeah, different world. Now you always should suppose that someone is filming you. Whatever you do, be
Yeah.
sure there is some camera.
Yeah.
Is it legal, Ivan?
Well, yes, in most public places, but when you say legal, so if there is some kind of investigation, they will make it legal. So it's not a problem for government, let's say,
Okay.
to film you all
In
the
the
time.
US, policemen must have a body camera now.
Wow.
Every
But
policeman
they
has a
have-
body camera, so you can see
What
everything they're
for?
doing.
What
One
for,
policeman,
teacher?
huh?
What for?
For
What?
protection from lawsuits.
Okay. All right.
He said this. No, I didn't say that. My camera recorded you saying this. One
Okay.
policeman was even doing something illegal one time, and he forgot he had a body camera on. So his illegal activities were caught on his body camera, and he got arrested. And he said, I didn't do that. Let's look at your body camera. Oh, I forgot to turn my body camera off. Duh.
Good.
Sergey?
Good way.
It's to prevent lawsuits. That's why they do it, to prevent lawsuits. That policeman beat me. Look at my body camera.
Yeah.
I didn't
that's
beat
all.
you. You know, it's to protect the police now.
It is not allowed here, I guess. Even I just can't record what I'm talking with the person on the phone.
Right. Normal people can't do that without getting permission, but the
Yeah.
policemen are different. Everyone knows that policemen wear body cameras.
Yeah.
Sergey?
When they go to the toilet or to the cafe, they switch off the camera, or this camera works 24 hours.
I don't know.
You don't know, but you can find on
yeah.
the Google. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
But
once
it
I
looks
watched
out. It doesn't look down. It looks out.
once I remember I watched an interview with a policeman, and they asked him, are you sad or are you happy about this camera? And he said, I'm very happy, because before that, every day I had false claim on my actions. So nowadays it's kind of just easier for me. You have everything recorded.
Yep.
Yes. The problem is somebody records you, they only show the part that interests them,
It's
not the
Yeah.
whole scene. The
Exactly.
provocation and everything, that's good for the police officer.
And I hate that. Every video you see starts with the policeman hitting somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't show what happened before that,
Vasant, please.
Yeah, and the CCTV cameras also stop the crime at the first stage, before happening. Most of the crimes are happening because they are not being watched.
Yeah.
So, the crime, the crime rate reduces.
I believe that camera and so kind of all this network of cameras, they really reduce the crime. I believe that, because we have statistics about that. We have statistics from Moscow, we have statistics from South Korea and many different places, but also it's a kind of very hard balance between to be safe and to have privacy. And sometimes I don't know what is better, sometimes, because, well, let's say in Moscow and in London, for instance, you don't have any privacy anymore. So whenever you go, whenever you use metro, public station, whenever you go to by the street or go to the shop, you are face recognition. I don't know.
Recognition, right?
Yeah.
But isn't it a bit? I mean, don't you feel safe or no?
Well,
yes.
if the government, if you're not on a government blacklist,
which can change fast.
Okay.
At some
Okay.
point. But no, in general, so we pay the price of this for this safeness. We pay the price of our privacy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what is more important. Sometimes I feel that I don't want to pay this price. I want my private life. I want that, that nobody collects the information where I go every Sunday, morning or something like that. So, and for that, I would pretty much fine, that they don't close some criminal cases, let's say. before
face recognition, it wasn't so bad. Even it was hard for someone to watch you because without face recognition, they couldn't find videos that had you in them.
Yeah.
But now with face recognition, they can type in your name and boom, 5 videos show up all around town that have you in it. And they can say, oh, you went here. Oh, you went here. Oh, look here, you're buying drugs from a drug dealer. You know, with face recognition, the privacy thing really blew up. It's like, whoa.
Well, I have a story with a false face recognition, you know. So one day in Moscow, we started to pay in the metro by our faces. Probably I told you. So we never stop. We tell you just go to the metro and they charge your credit card just because you went here by face recognition. And at one day they had a glitch. And at this glitch, they charged me like for 5,000 drives or something. So it was a kind of huge amount of money just in one day for me. And I was surprised, let's say. And I called them. They had, yes, we know this glitch. We will let you know the money. Don't worry. So I was not kind of in debt because of this. So they returned money in a week or so. But in general, I started to think how inaccurate this can be. How let's say it will be a criminal case, and they will say you was there, and what I have to prove that I wasn't. So so I cannot trust this technology anymore. So that's the problem.
I can understand you.
And hackers might be able to manipulate the data to make it look different than it really was. You never know, you know, deep fake and hacking, you know, they can cut out your video and show you somewhere where you were not, you know.
Yeah, so that's what I'm very afraid. If a court system will trust these cameras like 100%, then I'm not happy with this. I'm really not happy because
even sooner or later they can find the truth.
Maybe I will be executed, but this time I
Don't say that. No,
it will be too late.
don't.
Okay, let's do a few more. Vasant, could you please help us with this one?
Yeah, this is where the helping lady came in and her statements contradicted the kid's statement. She said the doctor went to home earlier. We can see she's in a night suit.
Vasant, what do you think about her, let's say, costume or her dress?
Yeah, a night robe. Is that right?
I don't know, but to me it doesn't look like, you know, to the suit for public. Something.
Yeah, we call it a bathrobe. It's a one-piece thing you just put over your body when you get out of the bath.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people in their, you know, their night clothes or their pajamas or their underwear, if someone comes into the home, they might put on a bathrobe just to cover their pajamas.
Usually, is it the same for men and women? Because I'm so sorry, I don't know what it is in English. My daddy used to wear robe de chambre. Is it French?
You have to show us a photo later.
I don't know. I mean, a bathrobe usually goes down below your knees. So it goes down to your knees. So
No,
a bathrobe is
Okay.
a one-piece thing that goes down to your knees. It covers, you know, most of your upper body.
Okay, let's look on this side on the left. So it's kind of it's our main character, Steve, right? And when I see on him, I can see that he is wearing formal pants, right, with creases. And what I was told when I was young, you can never wear pants with this, I don't know how it's called, hooks for the belt.
We call them belt loops.
Belt loops, yeah. And I was told you cannot wear pants with belt loops without belt. It's disrespectful.
It looks strange. Yeah, it looks strange. And
So
for
yeah,
a long time, for a long time, we only had belt loops, and later they came out with beltless pants that were stretch elastic, and you could hook the front, and
Yeah.
they had no belt loops because you didn't wear a belt with them. But that was kind of fancy. Most pants had belt loops.
Yeah, but I think how interesting that the overall kind of civilization runs in the that we have a losing our rules to the clothes. So for my grandfather, let's say, it was impossible to not to wear, belt. For me, it's kind of okay. I can use it.
What about the tie, Ivan? Now men don't use tie a lot.
Tie? Well, I don't use it a lot as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, most people, politicians and high-level people still wear ties. And I don't know why, because ties are very uncomfortable for men. Remember Nehru? Nehru was an Indian leader. Vasant knows Nehru probably. He was the first man to wear we called it the Nehru collar. He didn't wear a tie. He wore a Nehru collar, and they became very popular in America for a few years.
Wow.
People would start wearing Nehru collars with no tie, and it looked pretty cool. But they lost popularity.
And also he used to wear, he used to keep a rose on his shirt pocket. That's also
Rose?
yeah, a rose. That's also
Wow.
his unique style.
But his collar style was very popular in the U.S. for a few years. I remember it. I liked it. Yeah.
Okay. Sergey?
Yeah, I want to add some points about t-shirts, and in this time I know, and I read the article about it. Men wear t-shirt undershirt, white t-shirts, like a Büstgalter for women, for cover their breast. And now I can see the teacher leave without t-shirt. Why?
Yeah, in the old days, you had to wear a t-shirt under a dress shirt. It was standard procedure. But today you don't. Today people just wear t-shirts on the outside, right? That's their dress up mode, a t-shirt. It's terrible.
Yeah.
In the military, they usually wear a green t-shirt underneath, right? Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Sergey, please help us with this picture.
Yeah, there are a lot of people and fireworks and policemen and some witnesses. They were waiting the moment when they will fight with Blob. And we can see other types of uniform for fireworkers. And in the center of this photo, we can see the white uniforms. Maybe this is the boss of fireworks band, I don't know. And in front of, behind the main characters, we can see 2 or 3 fireworks with a black uniform. I don't know why they other types of uniform.
Notice the fireman's hat has a big rim in the back.
Yep.
That prevents fire from falling from above and landing on his neck. So firemen have a special hat to protect their back from falling fire debris. That's why their helmet's kind of funny shaped.
Yep. So safety measures, right? Safety.
Yep. And it looks like he's wearing kind of a raincoat. This was before we had fireproof suits. So you wore kind of a vinyl raincoat to protect your skin from getting burned.
But is it right actually that most of them just volunteers, right? So they not paid for this job?
Some cities pay them. Smaller towns may not have the money to pay firemen 24/7. So there might be a volunteer fire department. They stay home, or they spend a few hours a day in the fire station, but they're volunteer and they have to call you. We've got a fire. We need you to come to the fire station. And they go to the fire, so some are volunteers, some are paid. It depends on how big the city is and how much money they have.
Okay.
New York pays their firemen. A small town might have a volunteer fire department. Yeah. Notice
Okay,
the movie theater is playing. Bela Lugosi was an old, maybe Bulgarian actor. He played Dracula. He was in Dracula movies. When you say Bela Lugosi, everyone thinks, I want to bite your neck.
okay. Okay, spook show. Vova, could you please help us with this picture?
Everyone's running. It is from theater,
Mhm.
from
Movie theater?
yes, movie theater, and some stage writings, air conditioned, house fully air conditioned.
House fully air conditioned.
Air
Very-
conditioning was new back then. Our theater is air conditioned. Oh,
Wow.
wow, I can be cool, while I'm watching the movie. This was a big deal back then. Like, we're air conditioned.
The word colonial brought my attention. I don't think it's possible today to have a colonial theater.
Yeah, that word's evil today. Yeah.
Daughter of the owner. Of the
Daughter of
owner.
horror. So some horror movies playing. Again, this is kind of an Easter egg. It's a horror movie, and there's a horror movie playing at the theater in the horror movie.
Exactly. What's
Actually, if there is a panic like this, can we say that people get trampled underfoot or get stampede or something?
Yeah,
Which
they
one is
are
the-
stampeding.
Mm.
Like frightened cattle, they stampede, they run in fear, and if you fall down, you will get trampled, maybe to death. Yeah.
Yeah, good vocabulary. Stampede and trapped.
I hate to say it, Vasant, but every year I always read in the newspapers about the celebration in India at the Ganges River, where thousands stampede down to the river to celebrate, and people always get trampled to death
Yes, that's true.
every year.
Yeah. They still don't follow the safety measures.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's probably the problem when you have a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of people.
You can even view them from the satellite images. That much crowd.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
Okay, let's call it a day. So it was a nice movie. I don't know because of atmosphere at least. So atmosphere was very very nice. Sometimes yes, I felt kind of strange listen to these dialogues because they, some of them they're not necessary for the movie. They give nothing to the movie. So why a police cop is talking to these young guys about nothing? So it's just to fill the time, I think.
I think it's just trying to show you, everyday life is normally calm and peaceful. And then suddenly this blob, interrupts everyday peaceful living, kind of like Alfred Hitchcock. He likes to show a normal scene, everything's quiet, peaceful, and then suddenly, boom, somebody dies right in front of your face. It's like, so it's the showing everyday life, and then something horrible happens. It's contrast, I think. Contrast.
But this old movies, they make me think about modern generation. Let's say now we have kind of modern standard of the movies. Let's say, I don't know, Fifth Element or Terminator, like Avatar, modern movie. So how people would watch them 50 years ago? It's interesting. What would they think about this?
Yeah. But it's, in these old movies, it's kind of surprising to see teenagers behaving politely.
Exactly.
You don't see that today, but in the old days, everyone was very polite. Teenagers were polite. They might have been inexperienced, immature, but they were polite.
Yeah,
You don't see that today. So it's like, was this real? It was.
If today I made, a conversation with a teenager on the street, what do I expect? I expect get lost, right, or something.
Get
Or worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's kind of a science fiction for us today.
Different times. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Teacher Lee. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Sergey. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.